with a disability, we are curious. What is it like to be them? We may want to know, but at the same time, we can feel afraid to know. Because it can make us feel awkward and uncomfortable. And then, we don't get up the courage to go over and say hello and get to know them. Consequently, we miss out on meeting people like Paul, my brother. He's 25, and he's one of the happiest, most content people that I know. Paul has cerebral palsy, which means that his cerebellum in the lower back part of your brain was damaged during pregnancy. And the cerebellum controls motor functions, which means that seemingly autopilot tasks like walking and talking can be very, very difficult. Growing up with Paul, in many ways, was not so different than any other sibling. We made each other laugh and cry. We fought a lot for Mom's attention, which she got most of. We teased each other and pushed each other's buttons. Yes, buttons. Paul loves anything electronic. And if we were watching TV or listening to the radio, you can be sure that he would find the remote and push the buttons. And I would say, Paul, stop changing the channel. And I'd grab this remote control from him and try and pry it out of his gripped hands. And finally, I would pull him away from the TV. But you can be sure, as soon as I turned my back, he would find a way to push those buttons again. But listen, I'm not going to stand up here and lie to you all and tell you that growing up with a brother with cerebral palsy was a piece of cake. And I was no sugar and spice. Paul was difficult. When I was 11 and Paul 6, our parents split up. I blame Paul. He made everything difficult. He couldn't walk, he couldn't talk, and he drooled. He would get frustrated easily and scream and cry because he couldn't communicate, but he could understand. Consider what it would be like to be able to understand, but not be able to talk. When our parents started dating again, Paul turned out to be a great deterrent for Mom's new boyfriends. We would play this little game, and Paul would listen to me whenever it seemed like something fun or funny was going to happen. So we'd be sitting at the dinner table, and we'd wait until Mom left the room, and then I'd say, "Hey, Paul, where's your food?" His hands in his food. And then I'd say, "Hey, Paul, where's your hair?" You got it. All over hair, face, whatever I told him to do. Paul loves music. Particularly upbeat country music. And especially anything by Shania Twain. His absolute favorite. And when he hears good country music, you can be sure that he will shake his arms like this, which rocks his entire wheelchair like this, and then he sings, which sounds kind of like this. However, if Paul hears bad music, including slow, boring music, you can be sure that he will plug his nose like this and blow raspberries. Sometimes, people would like to blow raspberries at my brother's singing and dancing. For example, we took Paul out for his 25th birthday to the pub, and there was some hot country music. So, we took him to the dance floor, spun him around in his wheelchair, and he was singing and dancing, ah! And everyone else in the room was enjoying this and came up to dance with him, except one table. A fellow from this one table came over to me and asked me if I could please keep him down so they could enjoy the music. Now, my mom has dealt with this situation many times in the past. And as a teenager, I often opted to see through the eyes of these people. But this time, I thought, no. I got up the courage and I walked over to him and I said, listen, it's my brother's birthday. He's 25 today. He doesn't get out much. And he's having a great time. And maybe you should consider yourself fortunate for not having a disability such as he. I look back at my brother who's still having fun on the dance floor. And after a while, a man came over and said, "Happy birthday." That took a lot of guts, and I really appreciated it. The truth is, we all have disabilities, though sometimes we fail to see them in ourselves. Perhaps you have no sense of direction, or can't budget effectively. This, too, can be a disability. Since breaking away from my egocentric teenage self, I've seen many improvements. I aim to see other people's perspectives. I am more compassionate and interested in helping others. Although our teenage antics removed many of Mom's suitors, she found someone loving who enjoyed spending time with all of us. There's no BS with Paul. He is free with his emotions and honest to the core. Meet Paul. Getting to know him will make you laugh, cry, dance, have fun, and respect that we are all perfectly imperfect, and that is the beauty of life.